In this segment, let's look at some of the ways that we can change an image to kind of get it the way we want it to be. So you're looking at a photograph of my wife, and she's about to hit a practice shot. She's actually not that bad of a scratch golfer. Me, on the other hand, when I play golf, everybody hides behind the golf cart because when I do a swing, there's no telling where that ball's going to head to. Let's live trace her. Select her. Come up to the Live Trace button. By default, it's giving us a black and white sketch. I want to show you a couple of things here. You've got these triangular buttons right here, and they are there when you're working in Livetrace. This one right here, if you click it, will allow you to see the outlines, not the tracing result. So if you select outlines, you can actually see what areas are being enclosed with vector and which ones aren't. We want something maybe a little bit more complex than this. So let's go back to this button and go back to tracing results so we can see it. Over here you have a button called threshold and you have one called minimum area. When you're working in threshold, it's determining what areas of the image get traced based on brightness, black to white in a sense. So if I come over here and change that to a higher value, you'll notice that the result will be less or darker. If we go this way, you'll notice that we will get more. It will go lighter, but it will take it a second usually because that's more complex. So what do you want? Again, we're still working with a black and white sketch. We'll get into more detailed stuff later. So we change it, put it anywhere we want. Minimum area is the smallest area based on pixels that it will trace out. The higher numbers produce more, rough drawings. So if I go higher with this, and that's high, 176 pixels. Basically, the image looks more roughed out. But if we go the other way, let's take that down to 0. When you take it down to 0, you're saying trace everything. Give me as much detail as you can. And you can see a lot more detail. Again, we could lighten that up just a little bit, get maybe a little bit more of that grass area. And if we go back to this button right here and look at the outlines, as you can see, we're getting more complexity. We're drawing more features into this image. This button over here allows me to see the original image. You have to turn this one off, no tracing result over here. So we can go back to the original, see what it looks like. We can look at the adjusted image, and we can look at the transparent image if you have one. In this case, let's go back to no, and on this one, we'll go to tracing result. We can also go into outlines with tracing, so we can see the outlines in all the other areas that it traced out. These buttons let me see exactly what I need to see before I make a commitment to the image itself. All right, what's next? Well, if you want to play with it a little bit more, maybe you want to edit it, that's what we're going to do in the next segment. You could, again, if you're ready to go there, click expand. Remember what that does? That converts the image into a pure vector, which means we can now do literally anything we want to it in terms of resizing it, making it bigger or smaller, and the quality will not be impacted. Livetrace gives you that ability.